Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Love and Stilettos by Evelyn Lindell. And this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Unexpected Reunion, August 23rd. Where is a push bra of deception when you need one? I asked Granny, suddenly self-conscious about my sports bra-induced uniboob. I had no idea when I woke today I'd run into the only boy who never broke my heart, at least not until he checked unable to attend on my wedding invitation 8 years ago. Not only would I have found my push-up bra with the inserts that feel and look like raw chicken cutlets if I had known Mitch Matthews would be here, but I would have also worn heels instead of flats. I've only been in Kentucky for 10 days. I didn't know Mitch went to this church, let alone this service. As I pondered the possibility of Granny's role in this so-called accidental meeting, the August sun warms the donut in my hand, causing a trickle of chocolate icing to bounce down my knuckles. If there wasn't a styrofoam cup of Coca-Cola in my other hand, I'd push the wide straps of my black sports bra under my blue cotton sundress to prevent them from another round of peekaboo. Two breasts are better than one, Granny declares when she intercepts my sideways glance at the bra straps misbehaving under my dress. But it doesn't look like the specifics of your reunion with Mitch are up to you. In her matter-of-fact tone, not her words, stealing oxygen from my lungs. Sucking my knuckles, I walk a step behind Granny, still hoping Mitch will be too busy talking to fellow churchgoers to notice me. With my last chocolate-drenched knuckle in my mouth, Mitch locks his navy blue rimmed eyes on me and smiles. My heart slams against my ribcage, remembering the boy it once knew. I remove my knuckle from the clutches of my lips, shooting a small suction noise resembling a kiss into the air. The urge to run or play dead, whatever delays Mitch's and my reunion, intensifies. Mitch? I stammer, knowing it's too late to hide behind a bush and cover myself with mulch. I straighten my shoulders and try my best to act unmoved by his sudden reappearance in my life. Uniboob or not, I want to seem different than I was our last June together 11 years ago. I want to come across as confident, even though his physical metamorphosis from a lanky boy to a muscle-bound firefighter makes it difficult. It also doesn't help that the impressive mountain range of muscles pushing against his blue short-sleeved polo are overshadowed by the manicured nails of the woman gripping his arm. She's stunning, the love child of Barbie and a Greek god. Shiny candy red pillow lips, wispy blonde bob, absent of dark roots, small chest and even smaller waist, a plunging navy V-neck sweater so thin it's a second skin, and a knee-length pencil skirt screaming its steep price tag. She's a cross between a pinup girl on the nose of a World War II fighter plane and a New York City rockette, sexy and polished with a level of confidence some girls like me never acquire. Mia! Mitch's level of enthusiasm jerks the head of the woman, Ms. Barbie, standing next to him. She pulls her eyes from the children sitting on the sidewalk's curb in front of church. There's more white powdered sugar on the children's faces and hands than their donuts. The sight of their toothless grins and the sound of their laughter shoots a wave of calm through my body. The boy with the loosened hunter green and white striped tie bops the small redheaded boy on the shoulder and runs as fast as he can. The boy with the tie bumps into Wilbur, a man in his late 70s whose appearance always reminds me of Bruce Wayne's valet, Alfred. He smiles and touches his steel gray fedora. Wilbur nods towards the boys, and they shout apologies over their shoulders as they run. He chuckles and swats at the white powdered fingerprints on his black slacks. I don't know why people have children if they don't know how to make them behave, Ms. Barbie says, killing the moment. I'm not sure whether she's a sarcastic person or lacks empathy. A strange, unsettling feeling creeps across my stomach. Ms. Barbie slides her left arm around Mitch's right and moves her hand until the sun's rays reflect off her massive square-shaped engagement ring. Between Mitch and I living in separate states, my seldom use of Facebook, and our decade-long absence from each other's lives, I hadn't heard of their engagement. Mitch clears his throat, rerouting my attention back to his trimmed, thick black beard. I've never seen him with a black beard before. It's a reminder of the time that's passed since we last spoke. It's been too long, he says, skating a hand through his pompadour haircut and swaying the jet black strands until they resemble a field of wheat blowing in the night breeze. Way too long, he adds. Granny takes the limp donut from my left hand. It didn't stand a chance in the heat. I'll be right back. You two catch up. She bounces a smile from me to Mitch and walks toward the green metal trash can at the end of the sidewalk. She tosses it in and says something I can't hear to Wilbur. He laughs at her words, which triggers a bead of sweat to race down my spine. I'm not confident whether it's the sun or Mitch's and my reunion overheating my body. How exactly do you three know each other? Miss Barbie asks with a smile and one hiked eyebrow. I still can't tell if she's happy to meet me or annoyed. I'm interrupting her Sunday routine. Deciphering someone's true feelings and intentions is not one of my strong suits, which is something I learned only after I married a man with a compulsion to cheat. Sorry, Lacey, where are my manners? Mitch grabs Miss Barbie doll's hand and continues. This is my fiancée, Lacey. He nods in her direction and returns his eyes to mine. And this is Mia and her grandmother, Ms. Roberta. She points in the direction of Granny. We spent every June together until I left for college. Mia and I were inseparable 1 month every year. The way Mitch says we and the intensity in which he steadies his stare on my lips catches me off guard. Xavier cheated on me for most of our marriage and made me a widow 3 months ago. It's been a long time since a man shot waves of heat through me. Luckily, Granny returns from donut disposal duty and resumes her place at my side. Lacey's eyes transform from slits to ovals and her jaw relaxes. I'm not surprised. Granny's positive spirit always walks 2 steps ahead of her. Her love of humor and ability to listen makes people feel comfortable. Mitch, Granny chirps with a wide smile worthy of a toothpaste commercial. How are you? I assumed she crossed paths with Mitch from time to time over the past decade. They both live in Louisville. But the way she throws her arms around him, forcing Lacey to let go and take a step back, makes me think she's missed him. Lacey's nasally inhales, barely audible above Granny's squeals of delight. Ms. Roberta, how are you? Mitch says as he engulfs Granny in his arms. You sure do know how to make a guy feel welcome. I need to start going to church here more often if this is the kind of attention I can expect. He throws me a wink and summons sweat to pool under my breasts. Granny's comment from this morning echoes in my ears. You know, dear, you should never wear a sports bra unless you're involved in athletic activity or horseback riding. If the girls are going to sweat or bounce for any other reason, they put them in separate stalls. Granny nudges my shoulder and ever so slightly tilts her head toward the far end of the parking lot. A wave of encouragement washes over me when Nate, an upperclassman who caught me during the dreaded trust fall activity at Bellarmine University's orientation last weekend, smiles at me on the way to his car. He winks and gives me a salute with his right hand. Lacey smiles at Nate, assuming his greeting was for her, not me. Mia, Granny coos. When I hear that tone, I know to brace myself. She has no filter. She may be the world's best listener, but once she opens her mouth, I never know what will spring from her lips. Shoulders back, head up. I can do this, I tell myself. I can talk to Mitch and his ridiculously perfect fiancé without acting like a girl on her first date with an ill-fitting training bra. I can do this. I lift my cup to my lips and take a drink. The sea of people lingering in the parking lot to finish their after-church refreshments makes me nervous. I feel like everyone sees my cooling sweat and the acceleration of my heart. Mitch, Granny begins. Did you know Mia's husband died in May and she's moved to Louisville to attend Bellarmine this fall? The confidence pulsing through my veins vanishes. I choke on my Coca-Cola and produce brown ink blot designs on the white concrete sidewalk. Oh my God, Granny wants Mitch to know I'm single. A string of thick saliva swings onto my chin when I cough. My hand flies to my face immediately to block Mitch and Lacey's view, but I'm too late. A uniboob no longer seems so bad. Thanks for keeping the Coca-Cola shrapnel off my Sunday best, Granny jokes as she flies a hand down the front of her plum-colored dress to better ensure molecules of liquid sugar didn't land on the fabric. She steps away from Mitch and places her hand on my back. With every stroke, she pushes the last remnants of pride from my body. I'd make a joke about my tendency to easily startle, but I'm too busy convulsing and trying to halt a panic attack to speak. Mia, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Do you need anything? Are you all right? Mitch's tone holds a hint of panic and a dash of sadness. This is exactly why I hide my widow card. Just ask, you name it, and I'll be there, Mitch promises as he takes a step closer. His right hand moves toward my shoulder, but an inch from my skin, he balls his hand into a fist and pushes it into the pocket of his caramel-colored khakis. I cough one more time and unfold my body, accepting that there's nothing I can do to erase the last 3 minutes from Mitch and Lacey's memories. I can only imagine what they'll say about me on the ride home. Lacey straightens her back, and if I didn't know better, I'd say she clenched her jaw. But she curls her red lips into a smile too quickly for me to be certain. She's going to be the best student Bellarmine has ever seen, and one hell of a first-grade teacher one day, Granny adds, trying to veer us away from the widow conversation she started. She smiles until the wrinkles framing her mouth lift. I didn't mean to upset you, her furrowed brow promises. She knows I don't like pity parties. Mitch kicks at a pebble, and his chest rises with a long inhale. I have no doubt she'll be amazing. She always is. He pulls at his beard as if deep in thought and brings his eyes to mine. When we were younger, I deciphered his silent messages without much effort. But now I can't tell if he's trying to tell me something or if the silence is simply a sign our reunion is over. Mr. Ketter, a man with a portly belly, receding hairline, and gentle smile, appears from the church entrance and cups his hand around his mouth. He's been the hospitality coordinator for Granny's church for as long as I can remember. Last call for donuts, he announces. Lacey rolls her eyes, likely disgusted with people who can't refuse a free offering of sugar. I open my mouth to speak, but decide to close it. She won't appreciate my "I've never met a donut I haven't liked" line. She's probably never even licked a donut, let alone set her alarm to ensure she arrived at the donut store while the Long Johns and apple fritters were still warm. Mitch, baby, Lacey says with a heavy emphasis on baby. We're going to be late for lunch with my parents if we don't get going. Lacey peers up through her thick black eyelashes and gives Mitch a smile. According to Granny, Mitch is one of Louisville's finest firefighters. I should have guessed a girl as beautiful as Lacey would wear his ring. Right, Mitch says with a nod. Mitch doesn't look at Lacey, forcing her to tug on his arm to keep his attention. He doesn't acknowledge her, which leads to another flash of a clenched jaw on her face. Mia, are you on Facebook? Yes. I don't know why Mitch needs to know this. Does he feel bad for me now that he knows I'm a widow? If that's the case, he can keep saving people for his day job. Xavier's death didn't break me. If anything, it encouraged me to heal. If you need me, he rests a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. Don't hesitate to reach out and tell me, all right? This touch makes me feel lightheaded. I resist the urge to close my eyes and lean into him. It's not easy. I offer Mitch a forced smile and let out a long breath when he turns to leave. He and Lacey take one step before Granny opens her mouth to speak. My insides cringe, already familiar with her tendency to send a last-second zinger into the universe when someone says goodbye. And if you stop by and visit, try to resist climbing the lattice outside of Mia's window. I don't need you falling into my rose bushes again. Mitch doesn't turn around, but his shoulders shake with fury. He's laughing. A smile creeps over my face with the memory of that night, but it falls when I see Lacey let go of Mitch's arm. She quickens her pace until she's at least 2 steps in front of Mitch. As her black heels click across the asphalt, an uneasiness settles on me. She doesn't look happy, and I have a feeling it has everything to do with me.